Afternoon. Welcome in, everyone. It is Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. You are watching Get the Health Out. My name is Michael Tharp. As always, I'm joined by the amazing teacher, coach, health coach extraordinaire, Candy Nielsen. Candy, how's the week going for you so far?
Oh my goodness, the week is exploding. This is the time of year where people think, oh my goodness, spring break, right? They're packing their bags, and I'm telling you, they're thinking about bikinis and Speedos. So it's been busy this week.
So is it safe to assume many of the kids have basically cashed out and are already dreaming of Florida sun and getting away from school for a week?
Well, that's probably at every other school in America, but ours is so awesome that the kids are so focused, and they're giving it their all for the next 2 days.
Well, that's good. They must have some teachers inspiring their learning no matter what.
That's it.
Well, so today, everyone, we want to look at the cost of being healthy. And like with anything, people struggle with short-term, mindset versus long-term effects. So Candy, you're the expert here when it comes to health and fitness, and you've helped dozens, if not hundreds of people become healthy. And we're going to be talking about that today, but maybe just give your opening thoughts of what do you see people struggle with, and what have you learned as you've kind of helped people get their health in line and get the health out when it comes to the cost of being healthy.
I'll tell you, in my experience over the last couple of years, it really is, people come to understanding the expense of health at different stages of their life, right? So I've worked with just a variety of age groups. It seems to be when you're looking for health later in life, you figure it out that it's about the long game, and you're reliving your past health journey, and really you're just going for more time to spend with your loved ones, and you're focusing on quality. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I mean, it's a really valuable thing to be thinking about. There's also nothing wrong with thinking, when you're young and you're healthy, just wanting to up your game just a little bit. So when we think about what the cost of health is, I really think you have to look at yourself and decide where you are in your life right now, because there is a long game on health. And the sooner you start, the better your game is.
And do you think most of the time people just use money as an excuse, and it's not really what's prohibiting them from making the changes they need to make?
That's always a conversation, right? I mean, look at the economy that we have right now, and let's be real. It's money is a real thing, and it's everybody comes to it in different places. So money, some people could say that money could be an excuse. I think it's everybody spends money on food, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody. It's a matter of what type of nutrition are you willing to put in, because we spend our money in different places. I'm not sure that I would like to say to anybody listening, health isn't too expensive to invest in. It's really making a trade-off from one to the other. And so we can see, and I have heard that it's expensive to be healthy. I think it's expensive not to be healthy. So I think you just have to change your mindset about where you invest.
And if you guys, anyone watching right now, if you have any recommendations or suggestions, things that you do to be more healthy that maybe are saving you money, or different tips that you found out, please feel free to post them in the comments wherever you're watching, Facebook or YouTube. And so we just grabbed this one to kind of, have a visual today, Candy, as we're both teachers. And, this is what most people will think is being healthy is too expensive. I don't have the extra money to do it, so I'm just going to get, cheap garbage food. But does it cost more than health-related medical expenses? So again, people are just focusing on that short term. I don't have time, I'll go to fast food. I'll just buy whatever I see at Meijer or Walmart, versus actually having a plan and a set goals to help them with their health long term. So from what you have worked with people, have you kind of seen this play out in their real lives?
I have, and I want to tell a personal story, and then I want to talk about some health statistics and some clients that I've worked with, who have given me permission to share their story. I can tell you when I was considering better health in my 40s, it ultimately it really was. I looked at my husband and I said, "This is too expensive. We can't do it." I mean, that was my initial reaction,
Okay.
and after some debate and discussion, I mean, we buy our groceries online, and so it was very convenient. We have 4 kids that live at home, and when I tell you kids, I mean, like, we have a son in his 20s, and so that's like 2 kids right there.
Right.
And so our kids are in their 20s and their teens, all living at home. And when we looked at where we were spending our money, my husband finally looked at me and said, "We can't afford not to try this."
Mm.
And I teach math, and so do the math. And we actually sat down and looked at a period of 6 months of grocery bills. We looked at how much it would cost for us to pivot with our health and said, wow, we actually saved $239.70 for the both of us to pivot our health and still feed our children somewhat in the same capacity. I'm not going to lie. Maybe we took the Oreos off the grocery bill.
Right.
But gosh, in turn, we also changed their health. So it was affordable. We just didn't sit down and do the math. But when we did, we found out, wow, it's really affordable. So that's my personal story about that.
And was
And
was that about, you said about $230? Was that a month you found that you saved actually following the plan?
yes, it was. It was about 200, it was $239.70 that we saved. And I
She's a
thought,
math
wow,
teacher, guys. She's a math teacher. She's going to get down to the decimal.
what would you do with an extra $239.70? I'm thinking there's some people out here that could use
Right.
$239.70.
Right.
Because that is a challenge that when I'm talking to a lot of families, it's often I realized that I wasn't going to be successful unless I brought my spouse in on this. But thinking about bringing your spouse in, sometimes when you're making a pivot like that, you can think that it's, ooh, that's too big of a financial leap. I would challenge you to find someone to do the math. Really sit down and track where you spend your money. There's a lot of people, and me included, in my, before I made that change. Do you go out for a coffee every day? What's in your coffee? Do you stop for lunch? What are you buying? When you start to really look at the cost of those things, I think it brings it into perspective. Now, if I'm talking about speaking with clients, I've helped over 800 clients find health. Many of my clients, and it's not only targeted to an age group, but I can tell you that many of my clients come to me with medical challenges. They come in thinking, man, this maybe I can't change my health because I have a medical challenge. It's not true. A big handful of people I work with come in with diabetes,
Mhm.
and that definitely has impacted their health and where they spend their time and their money at the doctor's office. I looked up a quick stat because I know personally from the clients that I've helped, but $4 trillion a year goes into taking care of diabetic care in the United
Wow.
States alone.
You
And
said 4 trillion?
4 trillion
Wow. Holy cow.
for diabetic care. So that's about one out of every $4, goes to care with people with diabetes. So um, some of the clients that I've worked with, and I know we're going to talk about a highlight of my life today, is a couple. And he is currently on his health journey. He's a friend of mine and my husband, and I've gotten to know his wife. She's on this journey, Joe and Marcy. And he, experienced for the first time over the last 15 weeks, he's lost over 50 pounds. And there's my friends right there. They've lost over 100 pounds together, but he's lost over 50 pounds. And he called me on the phone one day and said, "You're not going to believe it. I just left the doctor's office and she hugged me." Yeah,
That's awesome.
and that is, to hear that it's priceless. And so just to say that when you can make a choice and not let the expense of what you think you're spending get in the way of your mindset, boy, it can really change some things. And I look at those two people there. They have a lot of life to live, and so when you can tackle some of those big health barriers, boy, does the quality of life really go up.
Yeah, and so I'm assuming he went to the doctor and his diabetes was more under control, or his
Better
tests were a
health.
lot better.
Yeah, better health will lead to being able to manage your diabetes, and that's exactly where my friend Joe is at right now. And he's, I just talked to him and his wife a couple days ago. They aren't stopping there, and so that's encouraging. And I know that they're inspiring some friends and family that are looking for better health too.
And how long would you say they've been doing the program?
I know that Joe and Marcy, I mean, everybody's results are individual. It really is,
Sure.
no two stories are the same, but they're in week 15. So what you're seeing on the left there is their start, and
Okay.
what you're seeing on the right is actually week 15.
So 3 to 4 months or so.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, 100 pounds in 3 to 4 months, I would say is pretty revolutionary, life changing. What life overall, right? Like your mental health, your energy, and then obviously, as we're talking about today, you know, paying less money for food, having a plan, and then I'm assuming they're maybe saving some medical costs as well, dealing with their diabetes and such.
absolutely. Trips to the doctor have gone down. You save yourself some time. Um, the what you gain, can't be measured. I can tell you that knowing those two that they're gaining so much more than what they ever thought they might lose financially.
And I guess kind of what you're saying, is your health is an investment. And that's kind of how you have to think of it. Again, we're both big into mindset. It's not
Absolutely.
an expense,
No.
because whatever you do today, whether it's getting on a plan and putting more healthy food into your body, or continuing to do what you're doing, right? You're
Right.
investing in yourself one way or the other. It's just, what are you investing in? What are you going to put in your body? Are you going to think you're saving money now, but end up spending, more down the road because of, complications like diabetes and other issues that people have with their health? So anything you want to add that you've learned, as you're coaching, when it comes to thinking of your health as an investment, not an expense?
I I think that when you're considering making a health change, you've reached a point in your life where I like to use the phrase enough is enough.
Mm,
And I can tell you that when you've reached that point, you're willing to make a bigger investment into making a long-term, um, what do you want to say? Just
change,
a
transformation.
long-term change, something that's going to make a difference for you. You know, when you think about investing into your health, I think that sometimes you only focus on the finances of what it is, but when you don't invest in your health, are you thinking about what it's going to cost your loved ones if you don't?
Mm,
You know? And I don't think those are thoughts that initially cross people's minds. So your investment is so much more than the finances that you put in. I think if people could, if anybody out here listening, I would encourage anybody, whether you're thinking about changing your health or not, just for fun, it why don't you track what do you spend on food? I said it before, everybody eats. Everybody makes an investment in their health every day by the choices they make about the things they put in their body. I would invite anybody here to track what they're putting in their body for the next week, and really dig into what that nutrition piece is. I hear a lot. I can't buy healthy food. at the store because it's too expensive. You can't afford not to.
Mm.
And I talk to a lot of clients that wanna just get a jump start on this, and there right now there's an incentive going on with our program, and, it's a $100 incentive, so that's a pretty big incentive. But I always say, "Why don't you go to the grocery store and write down what you would consider healthy and write down the cost of that, and then come back and talk to me about where you're spending your money, and let's talk about if what you're spending it on is gonna get you to the goal."
And so I'm sure you remember Brandon Cooper.
I do. I do.
So he said something about people ignore sodium,
Yeah.
and his girlfriend, I think, has type 1 diabetes, and she's actually pregnant right now. I think she's due in a few months. So congratulations to him.
Yes, congratulations.
Anything you've learned about sodium or how that plays, or anything just off the cuff that you would say when it comes to sodium?
You know, I leave that expertise to the experts. I partner with nutritionists.
Okay.
So the program that I'm involved with, I recognize when it's time to when we're really going to break it down and talk about those things. I partner up with a nutritionist that, any client that comes to me has for free. A partnership with me as a coach and a partnership with a nutritionist. And they can really look at those things. But I can tell you it is a focus of my program to really pay attention to that and cut back on that. Everything in my program is gives you vitamins and nutrients for a healthy daily balance. And so that is definitely a consideration that is taken into.
And I just know for me personally, and some of the research I've done is, to me, pink Himalayan salt is
Yeah.
the best. If you're just using like the old like white salt, that's not good for you at all. That's just my personal opinion from what I've looked at. Pink Himalayan salt actually has real trace minerals that you really can't get anywhere else. So if you're not using that, I highly recommend you do some research and see if it tastes way better too. Like I can't even eat that table salt like I grew up with. That
Yeah.
disgusts me at this point. But I think Brandon brings up a good point here about, it really is disgusting what we allow to go into our
Mhm.
body consistently, especially
Yes.
when you look at, fast food. This, not, I don't mean like vegetarian meat, but like a McDonald's burger is not even really meat. Um, and these are the things that we like kind of grow up, Happy Meals, whatever it is, then we're
You're
eating
not
this
so
stuff.
happy. Yeah.
And don't even get me started about the government and incentives and
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. We could be here all night.
Well, I kind
Um,
of come at it from, that I live on a farm and my husband and I raise beef. So, hey, I know what you're getting at here.
yes, exactly. And so, you know, this is kind of what it comes down to, guys, is you can go for the quick stuff. You can just be like, hey, whatever, I can eat this and I won't die tomorrow. Um, and you're gonna pay the farmer now, and the farmer could mean just eating more organic, getting on a plan or program like we're talking about, or you're gonna pay pharma later. You're gonna be going to the doctor more. You're gonna be paying for more medication. Your mental health, your physical health, your movement. Those are the things that are going to suffer later down the road, right? We don't know when it'll happen, but if you're not taking your health seriously now and getting healthy habits, right? Again, we're not here to diet. We're here to form healthy habits that will last a lifetime. So if
I
you're not paying it now, if you're not paying attention to it now, you're going to be paying big pharma and medical bills later. So Candy, anything you want to add that you've seen that this happens to people and how getting on this program can help them?
Absolutely. So you saw me, my friends Joe and Marcy there, it's, it doesn't matter how many clients I talk to you about or show you today. I can tell you that almost every single one of them will say the token phrase, I wish I would have started this sooner. What they're really referencing is why not be preventative instead of reactive? It's so much easier to get ahead of the game. Um, It really is. I can tell you that that maybe should be my slogan for coaching, you know. Um, I hear that so many times. I have felt it myself. You know, I looked at my health coach doing this for a long time, maybe 6 months. Um, I can say it publicly. I was stalking his social media, and I was really looking and wondering, you know, thinking, is this for me? And how I'm just so regretful that I waited so long.
And that's the story we keep hearing over and over again is Amy, the first
Yeah.
person we had on, was, why did I wait 18 years that took me something 9 months to do?
Yes.
And
You know, it's I'm not sure why anyone that was maybe a doubter. I was definitely a doubter, you know. I was waiting to see, yeah, this really isn't for real, you know, or is this isn't going to last. Really? Um I can tell you that right now the money going in my gas tank, you know, that's not getting me. I'd be willing to sacrifice that for a
right,
lifetime of better health, you know, just to learn healthy habits. But um you you just don't know what you don't know. But
right,
if you're out there and you're doubting, everybody's got 30 days to take a chance, right?
right.
I mean, what's 30 days going to hurt? Heck,
And
my
and
life changed in 1 week.
yeah, and I think that's where people are at. They're very skeptical of everything. They've tried a lot of things. There's things out there that make a lot of claims that aren't necessarily true. But I know from what I've seen that you've helped people. Like, I really like how you say, listen, try this for 30 days. And I think you've had extreme success with people who take this seriously and really, like you said, they kind of get to that breaking point and they're ready to change their life. And we can get that done in as little as 30 days. So if you guys are interested in this at all, you want to schedule a free consultation, just text health to 616-383-2749, and Candy and I will get back to you at some point. And I really wanted to hit one more story before we call it a night here, Candy.
Yeah.
Um, because again, this is about everything, guys. It's about your your quality of life, your mental health, your physical health. Yes, we can look down the road and say, we're going to save money with medication and medical bills and going to a doctor. But when you see something like, that Candy was able to help Robin do, it really just puts in perspective how important it is to take action now. Do you want to read this since you know Robin personally, or I can read it? It's totally up to you.
I do. I'm going to summarize here just a little bit, but I can tell you that Robin's story is like many other stories I've heard, and I can relate to her story in a lot of ways. Um, you know, she was a daycare provider, and you know that's who in life is more joyful than a daycare provider, right? I mean, they're the light of a lot of people's lives, little children every day. But she was struggling to kind of keep up with the kids that she was working with. Depression kind of took its toll. You know, it's that depression is a big bite on your health, and it's not something you can get on a scale and measure, and it's not something we talk about a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and people can be really fearful about talking about it. But she was just depressed for a lot of reasons. But what really caught me about her story was she was actually shaming herself. And gosh, you know, um, she was tired just physically. She wasn't showing up the way she knew she could show up for the people around her. She had tried everything. Pills, you know, geez, that's pretty extreme. That didn't work for her, not to mention it wasn't a healthy option. She just found our program in a point of desperation, and in depression. And I'll be honest, I don't know that it matters about the size at all. Depression can find us all. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and if we aren't surrounding ourselves to a healthier place, it's hard to get out, you know? when I found her and she came to this program, she lost the 70 pounds. You know what that felt like? Literally a weight lifted off of her physically, but emotionally and spiritually and mentally. She stopped shaming herself and she started celebrating what she always knew she was capable of. And she started showing up for the people in her life that she really wanted to show up for. um, you see here that she's got a granddaughter. She knew that she was playing the long game. She's excited. She's still on the journey. And I read this last sentence here: take her advice. Don't wait. Your health is worth it. And everybody around you, they're worth it too.
No, and I think that's so true. And sadly, some people just have to hit rock bottom before they, make that choice to completely change their life. So if anyone's watching right now and, you want to get more healthy, you want to lose some weight,
Reach out.
um, you want to work on your physical and mental health, you know, like Candy said, we have a promotion going, I think till the end of the month of $100 off.
Yes.
So text that number and, we'll get you a consultation and see, how we can help you get some healthy habits going, join the community, and really just transform your life. Any last words before we leave, Candy? I think that's all we had to cover and go
Yeah.
over. Again, guys, I mean, we're spacing these out, but we could literally throw up hundreds of these,
Yeah.
of people that have had success. We don't want to overwhelm you guys, but every week we're just going to be sharing another story and another story. Life's changing. And I've never, seen anything like this, where so many people are having success and they're doing it the right way. And, the cost of being healthy isn't going to change. The question is, what are you going to do about it?
Absolutely. I just want to put this out there. I know that it can be scary to have a conversation with a stranger, but I hope anybody out here listening knows that I'm not a stranger. I'm someone you can talk to. It's one conversation. You don't know unless you ask. Um, Call me. I'll do the math. I can help you, and I want to. Um, there's just, no matter what stage you're in, what you're looking for, what your goals are, I think it's worth having a conversation to find out um, how health can change your life.
No, I think that's it. Is it comes down to a personal choice, and like we've talked about in the past, is you're going to need support. You're going to need a team. You're going to need a community. You're going to need someone to help keep you accountable. So we'd love to help you guys. We're helping people transform their life all the time. So again, feel free to reach out and set up that consultation. Will we be off next week because of spring break?
I believe so.
Okay.
We have to take care of the littles, and
Yes.
since I found some health, I'm going to go out and do a little hiking, I think so.
Awesome. So next week, I know everyone, has spring breaks on different weeks, but next week is when the community that we're in has spring break. So I will be traveling as well, and so will Candy, but we'll be back in 2 weeks, Wednesday at 4:30
Yep.
with Get the Health Out. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great week.